Scanning in artwork, whether it's a pencil sketch, a leaf, a rusted nail, crumpled paper, or paint chips, is a great way to get images into Photoshop so you can continue to refine it or manipulate it and create artwork. Now, scanners are all different, and so is the software that comes with them. You can access your scanning software by going to the File menu in Photoshop and then going to Import. You'll find the name of the scanner in that list. I have a Canon scanner, and it costs about $150. So let's take a look at some of the things you'll find most common in your scanning software. Now here is a picture that I illustrated a long time ago in the 80s of some superheroes in some stasis tubes. Somehow superheroes are always winding up in stasis tubes. So anyway, what I want to do is scan this in so I can color it inside of Photoshop. The first thing you do when you put something on the glass, also known as the platen of your scanner, is to choose the paper size. So what I do is choose the full platen. I choose a color mode. In this case, this is grayscale. Even though it is black and white, you find better results sometimes getting artwork into the computer as grayscale, and this gives you better resolution all around. I typically never choose black and white. If it was a color document, I would choose color, and then I can choose my resolution here. And I can look at it in inches, centimeters, or pixels, and I can change the size if I want to. I typically leave everything alone. I can also choose my output resolution, and this is kind of important. When you bring artwork into Photoshop, chances are good that you want the best resolution possible while working on the document. So you don't want to scan anything in at 72 dpi, even if you're going to go to the web with it, because you can use the Save for Web feature to get your artwork in the right resolution for the internet. So definitely check out the Save for Web lesson in this tutorial to find out how to use that. So once again, bring it in about 300 dpi. For artwork like this that has very fine line work, I would sometimes go to 400 dpi or even 600, so I can really get a high res output and I can really play around with the colors and really see the textures and everything I need to when I'm working on this. Other things you might want to play with are autotone, an unsharp mask, and what I think is pretty important, descreen. So what is descreen? Well, let's say you want to scan in a magazine cover or a book cover. When those things go to press, they have a screen applied to them. So you want to get that off sometimes when you're working on the cover, so you don't have that pattern going across the artwork. So you want to descreen it. If you don't have that, then turn it off. You can also reduce dust and scratches, you can do grain correction, and so much more. And as I mentioned earlier, everyone's scanner is going to have different options. Once you have your artwork inside the scanning software, what you do is you can then use these little guys here to choose the image area that you want the scanner to pick up. So if you only want this part of the image, then just scan that part, because the larger the area you're scanning in, the larger the file size. So make sure you use this little preview area to choose what you want the scanner to actually bring in to Photoshop. And if you don't see anything in your scanning software, one thing you want to do as well is click on your preview button wherever that may be in your software. Oftentimes, by the way, you'll have different modes. So you can go to something called simple mode, and here's that preview button I mentioned. Preview will actually make the scanner activate and look at what's on the platen and then put that in this area for you to then crop and then choose the area you want to scan in. So you have simple mode, advanced mode for more settings, and then once you're happy with everything, click scan, and then in a moment your artwork will appear inside of Photoshop. Now keep in mind that the higher the resolution and the larger the file size, the longer it's going to take to actually scan. So don't be alarmed if it takes a couple of minutes to get your artwork into Photoshop.